Hi, welcome to Coding with Roach to another video. And today we'll be taking a look at how to create some tables in HTML. Now, with this, we'll just be looking at what creating tables with external CSS, as a few background colors, and some other stuff. So, our main target today is learn how to create something like this. So, our main focus is going to be on how to create the table using HTML and then start the table using what CSS. So, now let's dive straight into it. This is going to be a blueprint of which we're going to use to create our stuff. So let's take a good look at this. Then we'll start. So our main aim now is to create this, right? So I'm going to create a new tab. I'm going to minimize this. And I'm going to head straight to my desktop, put it with Roach, and I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to name that folder as what? Stables, right? Then in this folder, I'm just going to open this folder. I'm going to create two separate folders. One called CSS to my external CSS, and one called images. Okay, so we have two folders, CSS and images. So I'm going to come to my images folder. I'm going to use this image resource as my web page icon. Okay, so up the logo. Then I'm going to head straight to my ID. I'm going to open my new folder. So navigate to desktop. Okay, so create merge tables. So this as a folder. Okay, so we are good to go. So now I'm going to create two new text files. First text file will be called index.html. Then I'm going to create a second file. I'm going to name this as what? As style.css. Actually, I'm going to create another text file again. I'm going to name this as what? Okay, so media query.css. I'm going to save this in the CSS folder. Okay, so I'm going to resave this again. Okay, so I made a few mistakes. I'm going to go back to my text. Okay, so I'm going to move this style folder to my CSS folder. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So when you go to our tables folder, so we go to refresh. In our tables folder, we have our index file over here. We have our images, whatever we could use as a single image for now. Then we have our CSS, which contains the media query CSS, and our style.css, right? So let's come straight to our IDE. So this, okay, so I'm come to my index page and hold Shift 1, Enter to generate parts of the more fundamental text. I want to add my own text to it. So let's go in. Let's see, alter content. This is gonna be roach. There we come up with meta. Let's go for names. Let's give it a description. Oh wait, let's do keywords first. So let's go for keywords. Content. Let's go with, let's say, HTML, CSS. Let's make it external CSS. External CSS. Before media query. Responsive design. Let's go for TR, TD, TH. Let's go for a caption tag. And lastly, let's go for a table tag. Okay, now let's put a description when you use AI generated. So, hold up. Okay, so this is going to be our description, right? Then right after description, when we create a comment, say link and image, as let's say a web page icon. I'm going to create a link. Relation is equal to, let's see, an icon. Now there's a type. I go for image slash, look from the X icon, then an href. So I want to make sure I want to link the image to images slash app logo. You're good to go. Okay, so let's see. Now the next step is linking our external resources. So linking our, so let's say link external styling sheet, manipulation, go to a style sheet, type, it'll be text slash CSS. There. Now type the CSS folder slash what the location of the file. So what we did at the section over here was type the location of what the image is. So we have the images slash upload.png, basically referring to this. Oh, sorry. So basically referring to this section of what you. So our image is located in an images folder and the name is app the logo. The file extension behind PNG file extension. So when you come back to my ID, we did the href for hypertext reference equal to the name of the folder and the location of the name of the image. The same thing also applies to our styling sheets too. The relation is a style sheet, the type is text like CSS, href, the CSS folder, then the word, the style of CSS, right? So then I'm going to link my word for style sheet and for type, for text slash CSS. Then now I'm going to link that word media query style sheet. So for our media query for responsiveness. Okay, then now to my table title, I'm just going to change this. This is table, make it more responsive. Okay, so I'm going to try this out with live server. So let's go live. Let's see what we get. Okay, so this is our table responsive. Everything seems to be looking good. The next thing I'm going to do right now is see if my external styling sheet is working perfectly. So I'm going to go to my CSS. I'm just going to type body. I'm going to check. Let's give it the background color for now. Let's say red. Yeah, so the page is to red me now. My external styling sheet is working, has been linked successfully. I'm going to get rid of this code. That was just for a test to see if it works. Then the magic begins, right? So we have our fundamental data set and ready to go. We have our basic information of the website also set. So the next thing I'm going to do now is head into the body tag. I'm going to head into the body tag. I'm going to start with constructing my table. Now the first thing I get to do is open a table tag because we're working with tables. The first thing you bring is to bring your body table tag. Then after bringing a table tag, I can list a few comments to it. So let's say, should say, so let's go for creating a table using a table tag. Okay, so the first thing you get to do is to open a table tag, right? So I'll open my table tag. Next thing I'm going to do now is to bring a caption, right? Caption is that's the title of the table. So let's go for a title of the table. Bear in mind that what everything goes inside the table tag, or the table words properties goes into your the table tag, right? So first thing we get to do is to bring our table tag. And now we can start bringing our table word elements. That's our TH for table header, TD for table data, and a TR for a table row. The first thing I get to do right now is to create a caption, which is a title for our table. I'm going to type caption. Caption. I'm going to go for, let's say, student what? Let's go for student data. Right, so student data. So when we go back to our web page, holding off tab to navigate, we have this student data being present. So after bringing our caption tag, the next thing I'm going to do now is to construct style of the page. So I'm going to say, let's create a comment. And so let's say creating the body of the table. So the body of the table. Okay, so creating the body of the table. So let's begin. So I'm going to open a TR for a table row. Then in my first table row, I want to start creating what's the headers of the table. So TR gives me a table row. I'm going to do next now to create the headers of the table. So I'm going to open the TH. I want to say name. Alright, TH. I'm going to go for department. Then at TH. I'm going to go for, let's say, duration. So creating my first table row. My fixed table data, so three columns for my table data: name, department, and duration. When I go to my web page, okay, seems to be looking good. The next thing I'm going to do now is to get another table row. So my next table row, I'm going to start creating the content of the table. I want to open a th again for the table data. And this time around, I want to go with something called sub for a subscript. And I want to type, let's say, row. Don't mind the AI. And this is what I'm going to do now. I want to type, let's say, grades. And I'm going to run a tag called soup for a superscript. And I'm going to put, let's say, first. So I have a table data, sorry, I have a table header, a sub for a row, my grades, and a soup for superscript. I'm going to duplicate that. So let's do this. Put sub, types of row. Say let's say depth, development, then soup, maybe second, th, we go for sub, and let's go for support. Two, let's go for 10, right? So first table row or second table row, okay, the table looks good. Then let's go for our third table row. This, I'm gonna go for TD, so let's go for TD. Okay, so let's come up with some names. So let's go for David. Awesome. Go for computer science. Go for 15 months. Okay, now my next table row. Go for TD. Okay, so information technology, 12 months. Okay, that table row. Let's go for, let's say, Michael J. Michael K. Jr. Computer science, 10 months. But okay, that table row. Okay. Okay, I go for like, sorry, go for TD. So maybe it's O or 40. Okay, this is for mechanical. Medical engineering, 18 months. That's not bad. Let's go for a TD. Let's go for, hmm, bioengineering, 16 months. TD, that's for philo. Preliminary institute. Let's see, electrical engineering, 14 months. Then let's go for, oh, go for TD. For chemical engineering, 13 months. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's take a look at our output. Okay, so this looks great. I'm gonna have one last table row. So let's see, a TD. I'm going to go for a semantic so I can style that particular section for details. Okay, create a space. I want to duplicate that. Two text. I'm going to have this. Okay, so let's go through our HTML page. I have our first table row, our second table row, our third table row, fourth, fifth, all the way to the very final table row. That I have closing one table tag over here. So our output looks this way, which looks perfect. Now what is left now is now add what the CSS to it to bring our entire table into view to make it look good. HTML is used to construct the page, while CSS, like I said, is used for beautification of the page. So now that we have our table created, the various details, the next thing I'm going to do now is head to our CSS and start making the page look good. So I'm going to first trim the page first by adding margin 0, padding 0, and then box size, border box. Then the next thing I want to style is going to be the body of the page. So let's take it this way. We want to style the elements one at a time, right? So after, let's say, sizing our pages and taking out the excess space and borders, what I'm going to do now is to pick each element and start each element independent. So I'm going to pick the body tag first. I'll start the body tag and I'll move on to the table tag, the caption tag, the TR, the TH, the TDs, and it goes on like that. So I'm going to pick the body and I'm going to give it a background color. I want to use linear gradient. So body, go for background, use linear gradient. Linear gradient is used to mix colors together, right? So I have background is linear gradient. I'm going to give the direction of flow of mix for the color. So let's say to right. Then I'm going to type the first color. I'm going to use hex code. Use the first color. I'm going to go to, let's say, uh, for 2A, 2936. Okay, then say hash. Let's go for 5D, 1667. Okay, so let's take a look at. Okay, this is great. So mixing two colors together, the first color, then the second color. So we did background is linear gradient to right. The first color using hex code and the second color. You also change the direction of flow, make it to top. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, this is the bad. I'm not going to stick to this for now. I'm just going to stick to this. Later in the series, I want to explain to you why it looks like that. Okay, so we have this. This is perfect. Okay, let's add a few things to it. So let's give it a what? Let's say a height. So let's make it 100 with VH for 100 vertical height. And then when we come here, we change this to top. It already repeat itself. So this looks perfect. Okay, let's go with this one now. Then along the line, might make changes to it. Okay, then let's just set the width to let's say 100% for the body. So everything fits perfectly. Now, the next thing I'm going to do now is to start my table. I'm going to give a comment. So starting table, starting the table. Okay, so I want to type table. Then I'm going to give the table a look. Okay, so first give it a font family. Let's go for puppets. So sorry, there's a lot of puppets. It looks decent. It looks great. I'm going to give it a width. So I'm going to give the width of let's say 60%. Then now my table looks this way, right? Now in each table, from the left to right to the page, from left to right is in 100%. So if I give my table a width of 60%, the table stretches out this way. Then now I'm going to move my table to the center of the page. Since my table is 60%, I want to move my table to the center of the page. I will just do margin on top of 0, but I'm just going to do margin is to 20%. Then this way my table moves to the center. So if the table occupies what 60% of the work of the width, I'm left with 40. If I divide that by 2, which is 20, if I move my table margin left 20, it goes to the center. So let's say margin left 20, it goes to the center. So I have 20, 60, 20, giving it forward 100%. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to do a margin top, let's say 5%, to move my table a little bit down. Okay, I have a vertical script already. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do to give my table a background color. So let's give it a background color. Let's give it this. Okay. Then I'm gonna add a border collapse to collapse the borders of my table. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to start now is going to be the caption. That's the title of the table. So for caption, I'm going to give the font size. So let's go for 2 rep for font size. So see how it looks. It looks great. I want to give it a color. Let's go for white. Okay, that's popping up. Then let's give it a margin button to move the element a little bit down. So margin button give it 3%. Okay, shift the table down a little bit. Okay, so I think our caption looks great. Okay, let's give it a font weight. For that's rate, let's go 500. Okay, let's make it 800. Okay, 800 pops up, which is nice. Cool. Now the next thing we're going to do now is to start out with a TH, right? So let's pick the TH. So we're going to give it a border. So 1 pixel stands for the thickness of the word of the line, how big or small you want it to be. We want to give it a solid, give it a color. So let's go for, oh, fine. Okay, I'm going to go for this. Let's see how it looks. Okay, the same with the background, so wouldn't really pop up that much. Okay, now let's give the padding, the space around the element. Let's go for 10 pixels. Okay, 10. Let's give the text align to move the element. Let's go for center to center our element. It's already in the center, but yeah. Then let's give it a border dash right dash color. Let's go for this. Okay, so mine's sticking now. Now let's increase the border dash right dash width. Let's go for 10 pixels. Okay, this is huge. Okay, this is nice. I think it's way too big, so let's make it 8 for now. Or 8 pixels. Okay, we'll leave it at 8 pixels. Okay. Oh wait, hold up. So let's change this to white for now. Okay, so white. Okay, looks this way. Not bad. Now let's head towards our TD. Now let's do, let's say, border, pixel, solid white. Then give it a padding, 0 to 10 pixels. Let's go for text align. Let's go for center. Border right color. Put that white. Okay. Okay, it looks this way. Now let's do border dash left dash color. Let's make it transparent. Okay, so that takes other colors away from the left. Let's give it a color. Let's make it white. Okay, now I'm going to go back here. I want to change this border color to, let's see, dash 2F, 2F, 2F. Okay, then I'm going to go to the section over here. 2F, 2F, 2F. Okay. Now I'm going to try to increase this to let the let's say 15 pixels. Okay, it pops up a little bit. Okay, so this is how our table is starting to look like, which is not that kind of bad. Now let's try to finish the whole thing, right? Now let's use nth-child, or what most people say nth-child, or let's say selective word. Okay, let's just say selective styling, let's say precise styling. Start the table. So once they if you put PR, you say nth dash child, th dash child, row one. Let's go for th. That's the one th dash child one. Now what this code is going to do is tr is nth dash child one, th is nth dash child one. Let's refer to the section by so this is like table row one, table header one. So this code is saying go to table row one, table header one, then I apply this code to it. So let's give it the background color. Let's go for it. Go to word, make the color, let's say white. Then let's give the font a weight. Let's go for 800. Let's say pattern, let's go for 15 pixels to clean up a little bit. Okay, pattern 15 pixels. Nice. Now let's go TR and TH, that's child. So we go for TR, it's the end child, row 1, TH header 2. We go with the background color. So now let's go for a hex code. So we go for 1A. So Y for weight, for the thickness of the font. Pattern, let's go for 50 pixels. Okay, so this hits the second set of the table, which is perfect. Now let's set the next one TR, so nth child 1 or 3. We're going to color. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so about it. 15 pixels. Okay, so that's how our table looks like. So we have the name, the department, and the duration, which is looking great. So now let's take a look at this. Now let's start the second set of our table, which is the second set over here. So about how, let's say TR is to okay, so let's go for font size. Give it 40 pixels. The color, make it white. Okay, so this style the second section of our table, which looks great. But the sub and the soup looks way too big. So now the next thing I'm gonna do now is the style, the sub, and the soup. So sub, I'm gonna have soup simultaneously. So I'm gonna have font size. Let's give it 15 pixels. Okay. So I can just totally increase the size of it. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll. I'm gonna make this section of let's see, 45. Okay. Okay, so let's add a few padded. Someone let's go for 20 pixels. Okay, this is great. Okay. Hold up. So let's see this. I'm going to scroll up to the TD section over here. I'm going to try something with the color white. So let's see if this will make it look great. Okay. What do you think about this? I think this is kind of bad. I guess I'm going to stick with this for now. Okay. I'm going to scroll all the way down. Let's say, okay, now what we'll do next now to start a span tag. I wish I had it, so I'm out of background. So let's go for red. Let's say give it a color white. Okay, so right, that's right. 20 pixels. Okay, okay, it's popping up nicely. I use a border bridges. Zero. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's add a transition. For 5 seconds for delete class. Then let's go for span. Then I go back to the span. So when you move your mouse over it, it triggers an effect. Let's go for golden rod. Let's change the cursor to a pointer. And then add a transition. 0.5. Okay, so this, when I move my mouse pointer over this, get that. But now I feel like it's so tight to the edge. Okay, so let me add one final thing to this. I want to do, wait, I want to count this. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's table root 10. So tier is the one child. This child, let's go for 10. Okay, so just three shadows, I'm going to give the background color, just a yellow, to make sure I'm on the right track. Okay, I'm on the right track, so I want to take out the background color. I'm going to do, let's say, padded. Let's go for 20 pixels. Okay, let's say for 50. Hmm, not bad. Basically, didn't change anything, so. Oh, okay, hold up. Wait, so the span, pardon, okay, let me see if I make some 10. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to take out this code over here. I'm going to move to the pattern and make it, let's say, 12 pixels. Okay, so it looks like this. So, okay, so the table looks great. So this is gonna be a very simple table. HTML and CSS with external CSS. We'll make a few changes to it for like the background color. Okay, so let's get this. This is gonna be the exact same color. Then let's see what we get. Let's see. And it makes the whole exact same color. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna stick with this. But if you case only use the word linear gradient tool to style your entire page, you can style your entire page by mixing two or more colors together using a linear gradient. So with this, my table will come out looking great, and I want to stick to this. I think this is a good looking table. So to create a table this way, what we did was to first use HTML to construct the whole page. After constructing the page, we came to the CSS. And then we style it from the word trimming the page, body, the table, the caption, all the way down to what? To the last button. So this is going to be our table for now. And then on the next video, I want to learn how to what make this table what responsive. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and help let the channel grow. Thank you so much, and I want to catch you guys in the next video. Bye. And then, by the way, this is coding with Rich. Let's have fun coding. See you guys in the next video. Bye.